Team Fortress 2 has been out for approximately 37 years, has had 8,614 updates, and has had 29 billion items added to the game. There's a lot of stuff in TF2 that the game didn't start out with. And with all that, comes bugs. Most of them minor, some of them bigger, and some of them fixed. The Team Fortress 2 wiki has documented most of the known bugs in the game, but I started to notice that some of the bugs listed over there are outdated or possibly never even existed. Now, I definitely don't mean that to disparage anybody who works on the wiki. It's a great resource, I use it all the time, and I've even edited it a bit myself. But who could possibly have the time to check over every single little bug to make sure it still exists? Me! I do! And that's why I'm starting this new series that I like to call Bug Busters, where we're going to be debunking and confirming TF2's bugs. This series idea actually started based off of two things. Me testing these bugs in my free time, because apparently that's what I do for fun, and because of a newish bug that me and my friend kept running into while playing Medic. It's a bug that I don't think has been documented anywhere, and I don't think I've heard anyone else talk about it, so that's why we're going to start with Medic first. But we'll get to that a little bit later, because first we're going to start with Medic primaries. Our first bug claims that when crouching, the Crusader's crossbow's bolts are fired from above the crossbow's actual location. And this one is simply not true. The syringes visually fire right from the tip of the crossbow. And as seen when I'm shooting the wall, they come out right where you'd expect them to. Maybe this was the case back when the Crusader's crossbow fired actual arrows instead of giant syringes, but this bug is no longer true. I guess we could say that it's busted. The next bug claims that reflected bolts from the Crusader's crossbow may retain the particle effect team color of the medic who fired it. Normally, when a pyro reflects a team-colored projectile, it will change from the color of the person who fired it to the color of the pyro who reflected it. So, you know, a red pyro reflecting a blue demo man's grenade will make the grenade red. But reflecting a syringe from the Crusader's crossbow keeps the original team coloring and its particle effects. As you can see, the syringe stays blue and so does the trailing effect. It's minor, but it is noticeable. The next bug says that the Crusader's crossbow's projectiles can pass through a teammate at close range. That was pretty simple to test. We just put a blue heavy right in front of this blue medic, and yeah, they do go through. I would have thought a bug like this would be really obvious in game, but I don't think I've ever noticed it in an actual match. Then again, I don't really use the Crusader's crossbow as much as most medics probably do, but I don't think I've ever noticed it. We tried it out in game and it was slightly harder to get it to go through, which is good, but it's still weird. I know projectiles like rockets will pass through teammates at close range and collide with them at long ranges, but the Crusader's crossbow appears to just have a very specific close range where it passes through. It's weird, but it happens. And the last Crusader's crossbow bug says that reflected bolts can heal the medic who fired them. But this is not the case. Reflecting a bolt from the Crusader's crossbow will deal damage and mini-crit to the medic who fired it. We were not once able to get it to actually heal. Moving on to the Overdose, it has only one known bug, and it claims that if you activate your Uber charge and then switch to the Overdose, the speed buff will stay at whatever percentage the Uber charge was at the time of the switch, instead of reducing as the charge drains. So what this means is if you activate your Uber charge and then immediately switch to the Overdose, you should still have the plus 20% move speed the entire time the Uber is activated. And while it was a little bit hard to notice if the speed boost decreased while actually playing, in editing we could see that the activate and switch Overdose moves at the exact same speed the entire time as the full charge Overdose. It's a very minor bug overall, but it may actually come in handy sometimes, like maybe if you're using the Kritzkrieg and then your heal target dies and then you switch to the Overdose and you get more of a boost than you would otherwise for running away. So, it's something. Alright, so now we're gonna get to that really weird bug we kept coming across while Uber chaining. This isn't on the wiki and I haven't heard anybody else talk about it, so it might be a little bit hard to explain. But I'm gonna try. And it actually occurs in the gameplay you're watching right now. But it might be kind of hard to tell, so let's rewind that a bit. I Uber SquimJim here, he gets a few kills, fills up his Uber, and right as mine is about to end, he Ubers me. I'm invulnerable, but SquimJim is not. He has no Uber texture and is taking damage. But why? Well, we spent hours in the lab trying to determine that we don't really know. I mean, we kinda do. Let's take a look. At first, I was really confused. Medic number 1 Ubers, and as he's running out, medic number 2 Ubers him back, and it works completely fine. Exactly as you'd expect it to be. They were both Ubered. But then we tried it again. But this time, medic number 2 starts with his melee weapon out, like you might see when Uber chaining. Medic number 1 Ubers, and as he's running out, medic number 2 switches to his medigun and activates his charge. This time, it leaves him vulnerable and is exactly what happens when we're Uber chaining. We tried it again, this time with the syringe gun out, and it happens again. And one more time, we tried it where medic number 2 has his medigun out, but doesn't start healing medic number 1 until medic number 1's Uber is almost done. And it happens again. And we tried it one more time, where medic number 1 Ubers, then medic number 2 Ubers, but medic number 1 keeps his medigun out, but stops healing. And it works like normal. But when watching it back, I noticed that medic 1 would change their melee weapon when they were Ubered. So we tried it again, where this time instead they changed their primary weapon, and it happened again, which seems to put the blame on medic number 1. It seems to be dependent on what medic 1 is actually doing when he's Ubered. Having the medigun out and actively healing the other medic will keep both of them Ubered, but having your primary or melee weapon out, or just not actually healing the other medic with your medigun, will remove the Uber from the medic who activated it. Having the medigun active keeps both medics Ubered, but having a primary or melee weapon out will remove the Uber from the medic who activated it. So, yeah, it's weird. And as far as I know, this only happens between 2 medics. It would be a lot more obvious otherwise. I'm not sure when this bug started, but I'm like 95% sure this didn't used to happen. It's very strange. Oh yeah, and it also kinda works with the quick fix, where medic 2 loses his knockback immunity while Ubered, but medic 1 still has it. It's very, very strange. And speaking of the quick fix, let's go on to quick fix bugs. So in the Tough Break update, the quick fix was changed so that players could no longer capture objectives while under the effect of the quick fix Uber charges. Which is a pretty fair change, I don't have a problem with that. However, they also somehow made it so that you can't even block capture points while Uber charged. I start capturing this point, the heavy and medic get on and block the capture, but as soon as they Uber, I can still cap the point. And that's pretty dumb and can have an actual impact on the game. I don't like it, I hope it gets fixed. I guess you could say this one kinda bugs me. The next quick fix bug claims that activating your Uber charge on a disguised spy will provide them with a healing aura of their team color instead of the disguised team color. That's easy enough to test, and yes it does. I'm on the red team, I Uber this blue spy, and the healing pulse around him is still blue, revealing that he is in fact a spy. The next bug says that being set on fire will cause the player to lose their team colored overlay when under the effects of the Uber charge. And there's a pretty good chance you've noticed this one in game. When you get Ubered by the quick fix, you have a little team-colored border around your screen. But if you get set on fire while it's happening, it replaces that border with a fire one, and it never comes back. It's a pretty minor bug, and I'm pretty sure it's existed since the weapon came out, but yeah, it's still there. And our last quick fix bug says that a spy disguised as a medic with the quick fix equipped will still have the regular medigun backpack. And this is also true. A spy who is disguised as a quick fix medic will still have the default medigun's backpack even if they have the quick fix actually out. So it'll have the nozzle of the quick fix but still have the regular backpack. And this also works for the Vaccinator, even though at the time of recording this, that is not a listed bug on the Vaccinator's page. However, the Vaccinator page does claim that the Cowmangler 5000 shots are not affected by damage resistance except for on the Uber charges. While healing, the Vaccinator will provide a 10% resistance to the selected type. And if this bug were true, that would mean the Cowmangler would bypass the Vaccinator's standard 10% resistance. To test this one, we just fired shots from long range, so that way we would have a consistent damage. At maximum falloff, a direct hit from the rocket launcher, as well as the Cowmangler, will deal 48 damage. And as you can see, when being healed with explosive resistance selected, it gets reduced by 10% down to 43. But as we discovered, the Cowmangler has the exact same damage values and is in fact affected by the Vaccinator's standard resistance. This one is busted. The next one says that switching from the Vaccinator to another weapon after using your Uber charge will cancel that active Uber charge. This is easy enough to test, and it is true. The Vaccinator's shields are supposed to linger for 2.5 seconds on both the medic and his heal target if he has one. But switching off the Vaccinator will remove the shield from the medic. Obviously, with any other medigun, switching off the gun while Ubering will cancel the charge for the time that you're switched off. But the Vaccinator charges just work differently in general. So this one may be intentional to kind of keep it in line with the other mediguns, but if it is in fact a bug, then it's confirmed. Either way, it's true. After healing an enemy spy with the Vaccinator, the resistance icon may permanently get stuck on the spy, being visible through both disguises and cloak, and even after dying and respawning. I've seen this happen, and you've probably seen it happen too, at least once. But I couldn't recreate it, and I'm not exactly sure what causes this to happen. It's relatively rare, but it can happen. I just couldn't get it on recording for this video, so meh. The Vita-saw has a very minor but fun bug that you may have actually seen me mention in a weapon facts video a little while back. Firing any primary weapon and switching to the Vita-saw before the projectile hits an enemy will cause an organ to spawn when the projectile hits them. This is true, and it's pretty fun because you can make organs like fly everywhere, it's cool. It is in fact only visual and does not increase your organ count. So it probably should be fixed to prevent confusion there, but if it wasn't fixed, I'd be okay with it. It's fun, and it's also confirmed. There are also a few known bugs relating to medic achievements. The first one claims that it's possible to obtain the achievement Medical Intervention by healing a teammate being stomped on by an enemy soldier using the man-treads. The achievement Medical Intervention is earned by saving a fallen teammate from dying on impact. So we tested this one out. We had a man-tread soldier stomp on me while I was being healed, and it worked! Being stomped on by man-treads will in fact grant the medic healing you this achievement. And that's really weird. I actually expected this to be untrue because a fair amount of achievement bugs are out of date, but this one is very true. The next bug is that the achievement Infernal Medicine will still count even if the patient is a pyro. That achievement is granted for extinguishing 100 burning teammates. And since pyros are normally immune to afterburn, this shouldn't work, right?
Wrong!
If a medic is healing a pyro and that pyro is touched by flames at all, it will count towards this achievement. And just to prove that this was the case, we earned this achievement from 0 in like 2 minutes by just having another pyro constantly burn me. This one's confirmed too. And lastly, we have one general bug that states that during humiliation, you know when the round ends, the medic's arms will appear bent and clip through his head if the secondary weapon is equipped. While I'm pretty sure I've seen medics' arms get bent like that in the past, it doesn't seem to be related to having the secondary weapon equipped when it happens. At least not anymore. Medic's humiliation pose appeared to be the same regardless of what weapon was actually out. I even tried getting scared by ghosts, which has the same animation, but again the weapon didn't seem to have any effect. And that was the first episode of Bug Busters. So which class should be next? Let me know. And I also want to give a special thanks to Cool Stuff and Varric, as well as everyone else on Patreon, which now has Discord benefits too. And yeah. I'll see you in the next video. And until then, peace out, dogs!